Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, we'd like to give all honor, praise, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakak Kudash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. All right, this is the Plaintables Delaware camp. Here with another lesson, or it's like here with another a day, all right, of preaching the destruction of this kingdom. All right, so if we can start with 2 Peter 1:19. All right, because Apostle Tahar, you know, he coined this year the of 2026, the year of apostates, right? Sellouts, all right, agents, all right. And on the other hand, you know, we have major leaps in prophecy, all right. We also have the more talks of the the 6G, which we can get that article on the winning the 6G race, all right. You know, we also have more talks of the MOTB, coming into play. You also have the U.S. Having these different military attacks on Venezuela. All right, so prophecy is booming. All right, and we have to stay in the in the right spirit. All right, keeping watch for these different prophecies. All right, not focusing on changing the doctrine. Trying to get the heathens. All right, a part of being joint heirs in the kingdom. All right, not debating on whether we have the name of the Lord or not. Going to the constant debates, getting on other people's platforms. All right, we understand that we at the end. All right, so if you can get that.
God's lucky. You said first.
2 Peter 1:19.
God, so it says 2 Peter 1:19. And it says, we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye, it says, ye do well that ye take heed.
So, yeah, that ye take heed. So we have that short word of prophecy, all right? And we're able to, break down, the prophecies, throughout the scriptures, and also, apply that, filter that through the world news, right? Keeping watch of what's going on, all right? Because, we can clearly see that, we're at the end. All right, closer to the end that we've ever been. All right, and while people are celebrating, 2026, happy through year, all right, and things of that nature, focusing on a life on this side, building themselves up on this side. All right, we're looking for the destruction of this place. All right, and we have hope and we have faith that, this is going to be another year where we see major leaps in prophecy. All right, like you got this guy Trump. He was going into the the 6G, all right, and he was basically going into what was it? It was the like what we're seeing. We're gonna see more closer look, under the skin, something along those lines. All right, so these devils, they understand exactly what they're coming to do. All right, and if you call yourself a Hebrew Israelite, all right, one of the things you're supposed to do is focus on these prophecies. All right, so read that again.
God, so it says 2 Peter chapter 1:19. It says we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place.
A light that shineth into a dark place. All right. So, this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right, service of the Lord, we're that light in this dark place going into, Babylon, looking everywhere around us, it's all darkness. People against Yahweh, Shemi-Yahushai, all right, iniquity, sin all around us, harm, to the men of the Lord, all right. We're in Babylon, Babylon goes back to the Hebrew word Babal, which goes into confusion. All right, go ahead.
God, it says 2 Peter 1:19, continuing on. It says, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn, and the day star arise in your hearts. Knowing this, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation.
Yeah. So meaning we're gonna have the prophecies. It's gonna be prophets out here. That's preaching in truth, understanding the times that we're in, all right, showing, the Israelites their transgressions, all right, showing where we are, according to prophecy. All right, and we understand, hey, we at that point where the 250 years, of a kingdom. All right, the lifespan of a kingdom being 250 years. All right. Also, I believe it's the every 80 years it's going into the economic crash. All right, which we're there too. The year 2026. All right. So best believe this man is coming with that great wrath. All right. You also got Elon Musk, right, with the Neuralink. All right, planning on a mass production of the brain hips. All right. So looking at where we are in prophecy, we're at a pretty good place. All right. And if you can get Matthew chapter 6 and 22, if you have any precepts, you can get them out as well.
Okay.
All right.
So it says in Matthew 6 and 22, it says, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light.
Yeah, your eye, right? Going into your mind, being focused. All right, keeping your eyes on the prize. All right, which we're keeping our minds focused on salvation. All right, we're not focusing on building a community. All right, we're not focusing on getting on different platforms, constant debates. All right, we're focused on, pushing the word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, edifying, the Lord's hopeful elect. All right, working out our own salvation through fear and trembling. This is keeping your eyes single. All right, being focused. Okay, go ahead, read that again.
It says Matthew 6 and 22, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, the whole body should be full of light.
Oh, preaching the Bible. Yep. Go ahead.
It says, but if thine eye be evil, so verse 23, it says, but if thine eye be evil, the whole body should be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in thee be darkness, how great is that darkness?
That's it. All right, and a part of staying focused is also understanding that, in this truth you're supposed to overcome. All right, you're supposed to endure. All right, we get afflicted. All right, and you're supposed to take that on cheerfully. All right, when you go through difficulties or hardships in this truth, that's not for you to take a break, take weeks off, months off, focus on your worldly life. All right, that's just a part of the furnace or the affliction that we go through, as men of the Lord. All right. And if you're not focused on what you're supposed to be focused on during this truth, you're gonna be caught up in that darkness. All right, being in the truth for filthy lucre's sake, making the truth a hustle, buying and selling the truth. All right, selling Hebrew names. All right, focusing on building, a black America. All right, which this ain't our rest. All right. The scriptures going to in Babylon, we have no continuing city. All right, we're hoping for the kingdom to come. All right, Esau's not gonna let us build our own kingdom within his kingdom. All right, Esau's looking to plant everybody with the MOTB, man. Esau has his own plans. All right, and Jake, sharing some power isn't a part of the plan, man. All right. Now, on the other hand, the elect, we're looking for this man to be brought down for us to be exalted. All right, because that's the only way it's gonna happen. We have to wait on the Lord. All right. We don't have cares upon this life. We don't have attachments with this life. All right. We don't love our lives. We hate our lives, man. All right. And we're complaining continually. The scriptures go into that. We complain continually and sigh and cry for the abominations thereof. All right. So if you can get that article that goes into winning the 6G race, reading section 1 and whatever other information is relevant to it, because that's what this man is getting ready to do. All right, all paths, all roads. Right, when you look into what this man is doing, all right, making everything digital, transactions digital. You go to your grocery stores, you're seeing more self-checkout lines. You go into the self-checkout line, You know, a lot of times they don't take cash. All right, and if you know you do, and if you know you mainly use cash, all right, you got to go into you know, one of the checkout lines with the cashiers, which, you know, these different cashiers, you might only see one or two. All right, it's not like how it used to be. All right, so we're seeing, you know, everything that Esau is doing. You know, all of that leads to is the MOTB. All right, you know, technology advancing, you know, getting smaller. All right, you know, being focused more on surveillance. All right, you know, the digital ID. All right, so we're seeing this happen. All right, so it shouldn't be no surprise to anybody that, you know, Esau, he wants that full control by implanting you, all right, with the RFID here. All right, so go ahead.
Go on. So it says summary of NSPM on winning the 6G race.
Yep.
From December 19, 2025. It says declares 6G foundational to U.S. national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity, and ties it to emerging tech like AI, robotics, and implantable technologies.
Implantable technologies. All right, so he wants that under the skin surveillance, you know, and he's also pushing that 6G, you know, those different type of radio frequencies, that type of radiation. All right, and it's going to jack a lot of people up. Now imagine, you know, you put in an implantable device in you, you know, with that type of frequency, you know, Esau, he's going to be able to gain control over you, man. All right, and another thing too, you know, he's pushing that 6G. You know, the Esau, he loves that number 6. All right, which Esau, you know, he plants that number 6 is also a part of you know, a big part of his beast system. All right, he puts it into his barcodes, right? His products, you know, symbolizes it in different movies and TV shows. All right, so Esau, you know, he's really big on that number 6. All right, go ahead.
Gone. So it says sets U.S. policy to lead global 6G development, especially by influencing international standards bodies and securing harmonized spectrum for 6G.
Yeah, so at first, you know, what Esau is going to do is making it seem like it's the convenient thing, you know, make it seem like it has all these benefits. All right, you know, just from the swipe of your hand, you're able to give somebody your you know, your identification, right? You're able to make transactions. All right, you know, you're able to do these different you know, left-handed miracles. All right, but you know, it's going to come to the point, you know, because it's going to be it's gradualism, but it's going to come to the point where Esau, he's going to be looking to put you to death. You won't be able to buy or sell. You're going to become an outcast of society. All right, Esau's going to be looking, you know, to persecute those, you know, who's not taking the MOTB. All right, we're coming into the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, Jeremiah 30:7, which goes into an increase in death, an increase in persecution, an increase in oppression. All right, like a time we never before seen. Right, going into the, Daniel 12:1, it's going to be like a time like never before seen, man. You know, so we have to be ready. You know, we have to get you know, our spirits ready for what's to come. All right, the scriptures go into the just shall live by faith. All right. So you got anything?
Gone. So it says Revelation 13:15, and you have power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Yeah. So, you know, if you don't take the MOTB, Esau, he's going to be looking to put you to death. All right. And that's going to be a reason why a lot of people take it. You know, it's not just going to be, you know, the conveniences, the benefits, but your back is going to, you know, pretty much be against the wall. You know, if you want to be let back into society, you're going to have to take it. All right. That's why, you know, it's impossible, you know, for the MOTB for already to come to pass. All right. Because it's not a life or death situation yet. All right. It's not a means of, you know, of course you need money to buy and sell. All right. But it's not to the point where, you know, it's something that you're going to be given. All right. In order for you to fully, embrace Esau as your power. All right, to buy or sell. All right, it's not a matter of if you don't have money, Esau's gonna put you to death. That's how you know. All right, and also if you saying that people already have the mark, then that means it's no salvation if everybody has the mark. All right, because the judgment that goes along with taking the mark is being destroyed. It's no repentance after you take the MOTB. All right, go ahead.
It says, Revelation 13 and 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast shall be killed.
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, and of course, when you get that word for killed,
Yep.
basically it goes into, or let's go ahead and get that word for killed within the Greek. So the Greek word is, it says apoktino. So it says to kill in any way, whatever. It says metaphorically to extinguish, abolish. And going to that point. Well, yeah, basically it's going into being exiled of this society, being killed off, from the society. And of course, even then, it's of course going to get to a point where Esau seeks, to try to kill those who don't take it. Like, of course, literally. Physically. So physically. So it's going to come to that point where, Esau mandates it, where, of course, martial laws out there in the streets. Yep. If you don't take it, then what, you're going to get put down on the spot. Yeah. Or what, of course, the guillotines, concentration camps. Yep.
All hell is going to completely break loose. People are not going to be in their right state of mind. All that people's going to want during that time is, for the hell to stop. All right, for everything to go back to normal. All right, and you've seen the kind of a trial run with the the C-19 situation. All right, but imagine that on a much more drastic scale. All right, people are going to be taking the MOTB left and right. All right, and if you don't have the faith of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, you're going to take it. All right, you're not gonna pass the hour of temptation. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, gone. So it said Revelation 13 and 16, and he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads.
Yeah, and that's the implantable technology that we were reading about when it was going into the brother was going into reading the 6G race, right? Going into the 6G, when it was going into the implantable devices, it's going into the MOTB, man. It's not this isn't some hidden information. It's right in front of your face, man. Esau's ultimate goal is to put that mark inside of you, which when you go into that word mark, it goes into charagma, something physical, a scratching, a etching, all right, something that Esau's gonna make as to brand you. All right, go ahead.
Gone. So it said Revelation 13 and 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had a mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Yep, gone. So it's going to get to a point where you won't be able to buy or sell without it. Yep. Of course, without that implantable tech, that would Esau is going to mandate. It would there's going to be. Of course, again, Esau being a so-called white man, starting with the elites, this is what they want. They want, of course, a C-hip, of course, electronic C-hip, to be put within everybody. It says, read again, Revelation 13 and 17, and that no man might buy or sell. Exactly. So it's going to come to a point where you won't be able to make any type of transaction, of course, within a society, unless you take it.
That's it.
So, any job, if you have a job, guess what? You're going to lose it. If rent, you won't be able to pay for your rent. You won't be able to buy your car,
your house,
buy anything.
Even your family, because a lot of people's families gonna take the MOTB. If you have a woman, she might, she's probably gonna take it. It's a good chance that she could take it. All right, and if that happens, hey, you gotta fully lean on your faith. All right. That might be your test. That might be your hour of temptation. You know, your family take it. You know, so you really gotta you know, meditate on this. All right, and you know, whatever situation you put through, you know, you gotta be able to put your faith with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua first. All right, that's the ultimate test. You know, that's why we've been enduring, overcoming. You know, that's the result of all the affliction that we've been going through. All right, so during that day, all right, you know, we can be faithful, and if you know we gotta be martyrs, then you know we just gonna have to be martyrs, you know, for the truth. All right, you know, it's gonna be certain members of the elect, you know, that's gonna be put to death, but that's gonna be an honorable death. All right, if you get caught up in the destruction, you know, that's a dishonorable death. All right, going into the thermonuclear fire. All right. You know, those who get caught up in it is going to be completely destroyed, man. All right. Go ahead.
Gone. So it says, Revelation 13:17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had a mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And of course, you know, Esau is going to make it where it is very easy to take it. You know, of course, with the trial run that just passed, you know, the V.
Right.
You know what? Basically, Esau made it where it was completely accessible to take it anywhere. You know, at your local supermarket, at your local, you know, grocery store. You know, and maybe in your job they might have a little small, of course, station where you know they're of course offering it. Guess what? You know, Esau is going to make it completely accessible for you to take that MOTB.
Right.
And what again? So literally, this is the most important thing for Esau to mandate that mark and to make people take it. So that's why he's going to circle everything around it. Again, you won't be able to buy or sell without it. You know, you're not going to be able to make any type of transaction. What and again, you won't be able to do anything without it. And it's going to come to, guess what? You know, even with all of that, it's going to come to a point where Esau literally seeks to put you to death if you don't take it.
That's it.
So it goes to show you how bad he wants people to take this. Because again, you taking this gives Esau full control over you. You know, we just read 6G. You know, what is it? Of course, you know, what's the whole point of that? Hey, you know, to read that point again, it says declares 6G foundational to U.S. national security, foreign policy, and economic prosperity, and ties it to emerging tech like AI, robotics, and implantable technology. Yeah, so what is it going to do? It's ultimately going to create a tighter grid. You know what? That's obviously giving Esau, you know, stronger connection. You know, for those who take that MOTB. That's you know, for you know the implantable tech.
Yeah. And it's no coincidence, you know, that Elon, you know, he's pushing, you know, the production of these different brain C-hips, because that's a part of it as well. All right. Not only just to plant it into your hand, but it, you know, really anywhere in your body. But the main two places is going to be, you know, your hand or, you know, your forehead, you know, your brain. All right. You know, you already have certain people that have the brain C-hip, you know, that's able to do things like, you know, control certain things with their minds. You know, which that's a part of the left-handed miracles as well. All right, you know, part of something that you know, entice people, you know, to take the mark. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So it says Revelation 13:18. Here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, which is 666, and that's the number that Esau loves to use.
Yep.
That number 666. You know, you see that within his company logos. You see that, you know, he puts it within movies. He puts it wherever. You know, he puts it here, puts it there. You know, and what? Of course, within the barcode.
Yep.
You'll find the 666 there. You know, within the barcode language. So it goes to show you that you know, this is a number. Ultimately, you know, we have, you know, basically. Ultimately, of course, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua has revealed unto us, you know, what Esau will be doing, and you know what he to be using to show that that he is a man of course of wickedness that the scripture is going to.
Yep.
Come on, so to read, it says, well, okay. So it says 6G is powerful as a network. Well, when I'm not even gonna read. I'm probably gonna, yeah, go ahead and get some notes. It says, it's like it. Well, it's like you. Well, let me go and just get this. It says Micah chapter 2:10, arising to depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with a sword of destruction.
Yeah. So this ain't our rest. It's gonna pollute you with a sword destruction. You know, so that destruction is gonna be bad, man. It's gonna be a gruesome judgment, man. All right. People out here are gonna be, you know, put to death in all kind of ways, man. All right. You know, Esau coming with his military might. All right. You got, you know, people you know, friends invading one another. All right. People that you would think you're cool with, you know, betraying you during that day. All right. You know, and going into that is not your rest. You know, you still have certain Israelite camps in the spirit of building on this side. All right. Like the General Yohana. All right. He went into building a black America. You know, that's one of his goals. All right. Which, you know, the scriptures go into this is not our rest. You know, we don't have a care for this world. All right, we understand that this place is ready to get destroyed, man. All right, so you know, we're looking for the kingdom to come. All right, going into you know, this ain't the, you know, the continuing city. There is no continuing city. We seek what's to come. All right, which the seeking what's to come is the kingdom. All right, that's when we're gonna rule. All right, be in our glory. All right. But, you know, we don't have, you know, it's only a space, all right, for one people to rule, and currently, you know, this is Esau's time, all right, and we understand that, you know, Esau ruling, all right, is going to be the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that's to come, all right, so it's going to be like a seesaw effect, all right, as the wicked is brought down, you know, that's when it's time for the righteous to be exalted. All right.
Yep. So as the scriptures say, you know, we're looking for the of course, you know, the world to come. You know, we're not, of course, you know, looking for the prospering of this place.
Yep.
And it goes to show you again, you know, we're for you know, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
That's it.
So, you know, ultimately you're storing our treasure within the kingdom, but these guys are storing their treasures here. So, you know, where's their heart? That their heart is of course in this place.
That's it.
So again, you know, that's why they're focused on building up in Babylon. You know,
right?
As the scriptures, as Yahushua himself said, seek ye the kingdom first, and all these things should be added on to you. And you know, no, we're not gonna become millionaires and you know, have all this wealth as, you know, as Esau. No, ultimately, you know, that's not the point.
Yeah, and another thing too, you know, that your riches on this side, that's not gonna deliver you, man.
Yeah.
All right. You build certain things that's not going to deliver you, man. All right. If you don't have the spiritual riches, if you don't have, you know, the faith in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, if you're not building up your spiritual bank account, all right, then what you do on this side, it doesn't matter. All right. You know, the carnal things, the carnal desires, getting land and, you know, trying to build on this side that you know, that has nothing to do with salvation. You know, these people are going to be too comfortable on this side, you know, living it up to the point where, you know, oh well, you know, it's too soon for the Lord to come back. I'm not looking for the Lord to come back. Oh well, maybe the Lord is going to come back in another 100 years, 1,000 years. All right, these guys ain't going into prophecy, man. You know, it's too late to be, you know, changing up the doctrine, trying to get the heathens in. All right, you got IUIC Nate saying that the Lord's name is crap. All right, saying that we don't have the name. All right, which, you know what, we can get that. We can get that too, Revelation 19, and also get Zephaniah 3 and 12. All right, follow along with that.
God. So it says, Revelation 19 and It says 11. So it says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True.
Yep. The white represents the purity, and the horse represents the power. All right, so Yahushua is going to come back with that power and glory, coming back with those chariots, all right, and the angels. All right, now what is Yahushua coming back to do? Keep reading.
It says, and in righteousness he doth judge and make war.
He's the righteous judge, and he's also coming to make war. Make a war against who? The wicked, the heathen nations. All right, that's what Yahushua is coming back to do. All right, and it's gonna be a mass destruction. That's when this place is gonna get taken down, man. Keep reading.
It says, verse 12, his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns.
Yep. That's going to the description of the Lord, and the many crowns is going into conquering, all right, the nations. All right, because these different nations that are in rulership, starting with Esau, Edom, is going to be brought down. What?
It says, and he had a name written that no man knew, but he himself.
Yep, and get that word for name. All right, because this isn't going into, nobody knows the name of the Lord. All right, this is going into the Lord's position, the Lord's rank. All right, no man or no angel is going to have that position or push forth that the prophecy. All right, or going to hold that rank that Yahushua is going to have, man, or that he has. All right, go ahead.
So it says the name, or Greek word for name, is onoma, meaning it says a name is used for everything which the name covers. It says everything, the thought or feeling of which is aroused in the mind by mentioning, hearing, remembering the name, i.e., for one's rank, authority, interest, pleasure, command, excellences, deeds, etc.
There you go. Rank, authority, command. All right. No. It's going to be no other spirit that's going to have that position that Yahushua has. That's what that's going into. It's not going into that we don't have the name of the Lord. And it's funny because when Nate, when he was had that sickness, on his, almost on his deathbed. He said that he was delivered by calling the name of the Lord. So he knows the name of the Lord, and he knows that the power that the name of the Lord has. He also has, pretty much one of the greatest breakdowns of the name of the Lord. All right. So get that also, Zephaniah 3 and 12.
God. So it says, Zephaniah 3 and 12, I will also leave in the midst of thee an afflicted and poor people, and they shall trust in the name of the Lord Yahweh.
So this is going into the elect remnant. All right, trust in the name of the Lord. All right, so they're going to name of the Lord. All the prophets of old knew the name of the Lord. All right, that's not going to change. All right, we can get that Acts 4 and 12 too, but we know we're going to keep reading. All right, but the men of the Lord. All right, those that are part of the elect is going to have the name of the Lord. Trust in the name of the Lord. The scriptures going to the Lord's name, being like a strong tower, and he is safe that runneth to it, right? So, just by calling on the name of the Lord, you're going to get delivered. It's not so. And another thing too, not everybody's just going to have the name of the Lord. All right, people call on Yahusha, Yehuda. All right, all these different names, Jesus. They calling on all these different names that have no power, that's tied to false idols. All right. However, the elect is gonna have the name of the Lord. All right, keep reading.
Gone. It says, the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak. So it says Zephaniah 3 and 13. The remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak lies. Neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth.
Yep.
For they,
in other words, they're going to have the truth. They're going to have the name of the Lord. They're going to have the 100% truth. Because if you don't have the truth, you're going to be speaking lies. All right. So you're not gonna deceive the people. You're not going to be speaking lies. All right. It's going to be men. All right. Prophets of the Lord. All right. That's going to have the 100% truth, and we have faith, and we have faith and believe that we have it. All right. You're not going to see other camps or other people declaring that they have the 100% truth, man. When you go into Revelation 14, it goes into those that are not defiled with women, you know, speaking with no guile, right? So that's gonna be the Lord's elect. Okay. Go ahead. If you got something, you can bring something in too. But go ahead.
Yeah, it says Zephaniah 3 and 13, the remnant of Israel should not do iniquity. So key word, the remnant. It didn't say all Israel, so it's saying the remnant of Israel. So ultimately, you know, we're not concerned about anybody who's not part of the remnant. Because again, we only, or of course, you know, we know that it's only about the remnant, which is the elect of the nation of Israel.
The elect is easily going to be able to discern, you know, the righteous and the wicked. You know, it's not a gray area. It's not, you know, every camp has a piece of the truth, and you know they all come together, and you know no, that's not how it works, man. All right, you got camps that don't know the name of the Lord. You got camps that don't go into the MOTB. You got camps that's constantly changing the doctrine. You got camps that's pretty much, you know, Israelites now, with preaching plantation Christianity with the Israelite twist to it. All right, so you got camps that's waxing worse and worse. People that's being completely given over to a reprobate mind, man. All right. And you're going to have those that's the light, that's going to have the truth, that's not going to veer off from the doctrine, all right, that's going to continue to endure and stand strong in the faith, all right, and in sound doctrine all the way until the end, man. All right.
Yep, Khan. It says, yeah, Zephaniah 3 and 13, it says, the remnant of Israel shall not do iniquity nor speak lies, neither shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they shall feed and lie down, and none shall make them afraid. Yeah, and ultimately, you know, of course, you know, who we feeding off of? Of course, we're feeding off of Yahushua. You know, of course, as the scripture is going to, Yahushua is that bread of life. You know, that we're consuming. You know, Yahushua is of course, you know, the living waters. So, you know, we're of course never thirsty again. Yep. So ultimately, you know, we're feeding off of Yahushua. You know, Yahushua said, of course, you know, to you know, eat my flesh, which of course is symbolic, meaning to take him in, you know, so, spiritually.
Yep.
So going back to Revelation 19 and 12, it says his eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself.
Yep.
It says, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of the Most High.